we don't want to push, but we feel sad when the clear answer is, in their food. The food is the medicine, and they've been brainwashed to think otherwise. Everybody has.
John and Kristen, how did you find Carnivore?
Well, thanks for having us on, Dave. We were on before, and the way we found Carnivore was pretty much my recovery from prostate cancer treatment. And just to recap the previous show, I had been diagnosed with prostate cancer back in 2019 and had surgery, and then had recurrence in 2020 when we weren't allowed to go back into the hospital for a while. And then in 2021, I started hormone treatment and completed that in 2023. And it just basically left me devastated. The lack of hormones, and poor Kristen had to bear the brunt of me being whipsawed. But basically, my testosterone in December of 2023 was 19, and that caused lots of emotional problems, lots of hot flashes, things like that. But just the sadness and angry and irritability. And we started the Carnivore. I did January of 2024, so it's been about 7 months now that I've been on it. And Kristen came along a few months later when she saw some of the improvements that I've had. And just to catch you up, we just had a blood test a couple weeks ago, and my PSA remains undetectable. My testosterone went from 19 to 355 back in January, and then in February up to 540, and now in July it's up to 551. So it continues to go up, which looks like it's tapering off a little bit, right in the middle of the normal range. I'll be very happy that it's recovered. And I think Kristen's very happy that it's recovered too.
Yeah.
So I wanted to give you the update. I think there are a lot of men who are concerned about Carnivore and the effects of testosterone on prostate cancer and the response of your PSA when you have more testosterone. So I just wanted to lay mine out there and let you know this is my results. Some of the things that we also wanted to share with you are some of the lessons we've learned from the road. I travel a lot for work, and I get to bring Kristen along on, like she says, on some of the good trips.
Yeah.
And we've learned a few tricks about, how to be carnivore on the road. It's not always easy,
Mm-mm.
but we have learned how to cook on the road, and some of the things that we've thought about. We'd just like to kind of share with y'all, and hopefully that you can benefit from some of the lessons we've learned. But here's part of it. It's just having a way to cook in a hotel room. This little electric cooker, and I don't have any links in the description below, honest. But just something that we got from Amazon, and we can cook a ribeye in it. We can cook a few beef patties in it. We can cook bacon in it, eggs. So it's very versatile for a carnivore, and it's nice that you don't have to have side dishes. We have learned some lessons, like when we go grocery shopping. That's something that before we even became carnivore, we used to like to go into grocery stores just to see how people live locally. Just what was it like, especially if we were in foreign countries, to see, what was it like just to have that experience of shopping. And this year, one of our trips, we went to London, and we didn't have this cooker at the time, but we were fortunate to be in a little
Apartment.
like a kitchenette.
Mm-hmm. It was nice.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of, not sure about carnivore, but I'm trying.
Yeah. Kristen started losing a lot of weight, and we're adding fat and actually adding a little bit of carbs to build her appetite back up so that she can eat enough food. We find that her BMI is below what it should probably be. So we're trying to put muscle on and give her energy with the fat, but we're still learning together. And for me, I definitely don't really need carbs. I have a little bit of dairy, so I think that's plenty of carbs for me. And my weight continues to come down at a reasonable rate. And we're happy with that.
I'm
So,
trying to gain weight back
Yeah.
because I've lost so much weight on carnivore. I lost it fast, and I've always been tiny, but I'm trying to add dairy and stuff like that to put a little bit more weight on, and then a little bit of muscle. So hopefully I can do that too. Still be on
So
carnivore.
yeah, so Kristen, you started a few months later, and what's your journey been like?
Um, it's been hard. It's been really hard. I mean, I could give up bread and all that stuff, but it's the weight loss for me is kind of scary. And so I've been, talking to other carnivores, women, and trying to ask them what kind of fat should I eat, um, and stuff like that to gain more weight because I don't feel comfortable with the weight I'm at. I'm usually at like 115 to 120 and I'm now at 108. And so I'm hoping that I can put a little bit more weight on and, you know, eat more as much fat as I can because, I don't know.
you've mentioned that digestively you feel
Yeah,
better.
everything's better. My digestive's better. I used to have acid reflux a lot. Um, I was always having digestive issues since I was a kid, and that's gone away. My stomach's flat. I don't have all the stuff that came with it anymore, but I just don't feel as healthy as I should, I
She's
guess.
afraid of that number on the scale.
Yeah.
But before she started carnivore, we went to a formulary about the formulary pharmacy and consulted about hormones. And Kristen was started on hormones for a while. And why don't you tell them?
Oh, they put me on hormones because I was in premenopause, and um, when I started eating carnivore, they wanted to get my hormones balanced, and so when I was eating carnivore, I had no idea that it was going to raise my testosterone, and so I ate a lot. I was eating a lot of steak and everything, and when I went to get my blood work, we were in Florida on a trip, and the nurse called me. She said, "Kristen, what are you doing?" I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Your testosterone's through the roof." She said, "It's 1,500 and it's supposed to be 60 to 500." She said, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Well, I changed my diet. I cut out carbs. I cut out sugar. I said, I'm eating a lot of red meat." She was, "Okay, that explains it." And then she went to the doctor, and the doctor called me back. And she said, "Kristen," she said, "we're going to take you off your hormones." She said, "Because you're balanced right now." Because I was feeling kind of funny. I didn't feel right. And so she told me to just quit cold turkey. I got off hormones. I got off my cholesterol medicine. I got off all that medicine. And I know it's still kind of trying to work itself out, but I do feel better not being on it. But, I'm not where I'm at yet.
Right. I think we're both, enjoying how much we've, gotten out of pain, the energy that we've had. Unfortunately, we both got a cold in the last week, right after vacation, so it was
Yeah.
kind of tough to come back and look forward to just feeling good and then not feeling good because we had the cold.
Yeah.
That's good that the doctor has actually gone, okay, well, things have changed. I'm going to take away your medication rather than just going, oh, no, you need it. You need it. So, what happened with your cholesterol?
It's up. It's like way up. My doctor wasn't happy with me because I had taken myself off cholesterol medicine. He didn't tell me to, but the other doctor, um, she took me off hormones, but I took myself off cholesterol medicine because I didn't want to be on a statin. And when I went in to get my blood drawn, it was kind of high, and he wasn't really happy with it. And I was just like, okay.
He basically told us that he was going to prescribe it if it was over 200, and it was, well over that. And she said, "I don't want anything." And he still prescribed it, and we had to cancel the prescription. So at least we were able to do that without any follow-up phone calls or
Yeah,
discussions.
yeah. We'll see what happens in a year, but I'm hoping it's a lot better in a year. But we'll see.
How is your HDL and triglycerides relative to the high
Should I have my
cholesterol?
phone? I wish I had my phone with me because it has all the thing on there. But I think my LDL was like,
I don't
I
remember.
can't remember, like 300 and something, and my triglycerides are like 80 or something,
Oh,
80,
okay.
85. I'm not really sure. I can't remember what the actual thing is. If I had my phone, I would tell you, but
Right. No worries.
I just know it was high, and it's never been that high. But I know cholesterol's good for me now. But
And she had the carotid or the calcium artery test 2 years ago with
yeah,
nothing up there.
and so
So
I've got to have that. I have to have an echo and a carotid artery test on next Thursday and Friday. So we'll see how that goes. I'm hoping it's good because they found it when I had a colonoscopy.
they found a left bundle branch block.
Yeah.
So electrical things going on that were possibly going on for several years or since birth. So they'll check and see how her heart's functioning, and if everything's working right, and we don't do anything. And if there's symptoms or anything that we need to deal with, then we'll take it from there. But it's not going to be flow related. It's electrical related, so it's not anything to do with cholesterol in this case.
Mm-hmm.
I see. So how are you both eating day to day now?
We still have pretty much bacon and eggs type things for breakfast, and generally ground beef or leftover steak or roast for lunch. And now we're after 7 months, we're kind of getting to where we're down to 2 meals a day. We're not
Mm-hmm.
really doing 3 meals anymore.
Mm-mm.
And we try to eat things that have fat. We realize that when we're eating more lean meat, we need to find other ways to get the fat in. So sometimes we add bacon or something, bacon grease and butter with what we're eating.
Yeah. And I get really
Nice.
full really fast. But I'm trying to get my appetite back because ever since I've been sick from our trip, I haven't had an appetite. So I'm trying to get my appetite back. I've been drinking milk, trying to eat steak and stuff like that, but things just really doesn't taste good. And so I'm trying to get better so I can, eat a little bit more meat and stuff. But
That's one of the
Right.
things we were kind of hoping that, with carnivore, we'd never get sick again. But, there's new viruses every year.
yeah,
Right. Well, it's less, but yeah, it's probably you're going to be less sick, but yeah, it's still you still get the cold or something from time to time, I guess. Kristen, have you considered maybe, regarding the weight, have you considered maybe trying to eat smaller amounts but more often?
I never thought of that, but I guess I could try that. I'll try anything that'll help me put weight back on. Because I just don't feel right, and it's just I've never been this small, and it's just we ask other carnivore people. We ask, do research and stuff like that, and they've told me to add butter. They told me to, to add dairy, and I've done everything that I could, but it's just I'm not seeing, any changes, and so I'm hoping that if I do the small meals a day, that it'll help me, put a little weight back on.
Certainly, I can vouch for the butter putting weight back on. But I was thinking maybe if you did that, if you had the butter, but you were just having it more regularly throughout the day in smaller meals or something, then
Yeah.
it might help you.
And I try protein drinks too, as well. I mean, I have a protein drink. It's called Steak and Shake, and has all, kidneys and all that stuff in it. And so I try to drink that and try to, exercise. I used to exercise every day, but since we went on vacation, I haven't really exercised. I've walked a lot, but not really exercised. And I do feel better when I exercise, but I'm afraid if I keep exercising, I'm gonna keep losing weight. So I don't really want to. And I know if I lift weight, it'll help me, but cardio, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you could cut out the protein shakes, because if you drink that, then you have to get even more fat
Mm.
to be in balance.
Oh,
So we might need to just back off on the protein since you're getting it already in the meat 2 or 3 times a day.
it's true.
And it's going to make you not be hungry. So it's kind of working against us, getting you hungry.
Mm-hmm.
But
Maybe.
yeah, definitely, adding the dairy, things like butter and maybe some cheese or something. That's if you can tolerate it, that's something that I've unfortunately had to cut out because that was a bit of a weight gainer for me.
I wish it would give me weight. I do eat cheese a lot. I eat a lot of cheese and I drink a lot of milk.
Just trying.
I'm trying,
It's
but
strangest
I
carnivore.
don't know. It's weird. I know I don't want to go back to eating, bad foods, but it's just a different thing for me. I'm not used to it.
That's the hard thing is trying to add what carb do you add back in, in order to stimulate appetite. There aren't good ones, so they're going to be trade-offs no matter what we do.
Yeah. I'm for myself, I'm very scared to put carbs back in at all because I know it's going to trigger something in me. I know, and yeah, I'll start with I don't know, some nuts or something like that it seems innocuous, and then by the end of the day I'll be under a box of Krispy Kreme donuts or something. So scares me a lot. So what kind of reaction have you had from people around you about this way of eating that you have?
Depends on the
Well,
people.
my family says I look too skinny, and they said I need to eat more vegetables and stuff. And they said what works for John may not work for you, and that the reason why I'm sick is because I'm not eating the foods that I'm supposed to, fiber and stuff like that. But it's hard to say, talk to them about it because they don't know. They haven't done the research we've done. They don't know about a lot of the carnivore stuff, and they're just, doing what they're taught.
Yeah, they really, even if we send them a video, they aren't going to take time to watch it. They have made up in their mind that we're on an extreme path, and they don't get, that their path has taken them pretty much all to have heart bypass surgery, and we don't want to go down that path.
It's very hard to advocate for a carnivore lifestyle to the general population because it's for the general population. It's a lifetime of marketing messages and the same kind of messaging over and over again. And it's just, when someone's had 40, 50, 60 years of the same messages, it's very hard to kind of go, no, we'll just eat meat. It's fine. No problem.
Right. And we find that when we go out, when we're traveling and it's just us, we can go cook in our room. We don't have to go to a restaurant. It's very convenient. We love the freedom and the extra time that it gives us and not having to get out on the road and drive in the dark and all that stuff. But we also realized now we were on a vacation with 12 people and they wanted to go to dinner. Well, we weren't comfortable eating out. So we would eat before we go to dinner. And, when they ate locally, we could join them and, we would try and drink coffee or try to just do something social with them, but we really weren't interested in eating. And that some of them were kind of like, well, why'd you come if you didn't want to eat? And they don't get that, we're still trying to figure our own, way through, being sociable and having this diet.
Yeah, we have a friend that, when we go to the live tournaments, we always try to go out and eat pizza. And we were nervous about telling him because he wanted to go out to dinner and he loves pizza. He loves his bread. And so it was cool because we were in Nashville. And we went to dinner. He picked this place. It was like a, kind of like a bar, restaurant, whatever, pub, whatever. And, we told him, because we told him we're going to get prime rib. And he was like, "You're getting prime rib?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Okay, it's supposed to be pizza night." Well, he ended up telling us he was kind of like on the carnivore diet too. And we're just like, "Oh my gosh." And so it made it a lot better that we got the prime rib because he ended up getting prime rib too. And so now it's not so awkward anymore because he's doing the same thing for, a skin issue that he has going on. So it was kind of neat to have somebody on our side for a change.
Yeah, he knows all about saturated fat and he knows about the positive effects and the nutrition in red meat. He just says that his version of carnivore involves a little bit more alcohol than
a little bit of beer. But
yeah.
That's he's trying. But I noticed he had lost a lot of weight, and and he makes his own bread. So I don't know if he's cut that out or not, but we'll see.
We'll teach him cottage cheese and eggs and how to make bread out of that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. So literally he was going to that thinking, okay, well, I'm carnivore, but I'm gonna have to have pizza tonight because I'm with my friends or whatever. And then he's
Yep.
like, hang on, what?
Yeah.
They're getting prime rib.
Yeah, that's kind of cool because he told the waitress, he said, just bring me whatever. Just pick out something that you'd like to eat. And she brought him the same thing we had. And he had a baked potato. And he did eat the potato, but not all of it. But he had the prime rib. He liked it.
Yeah, and he asked lots of questions about carnivore, so that was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
He wasn't judgmental at all. He was very just inquisitive.
Yeah. So we don't really tell many people because it's hard to explain it. But with him, it was really easy.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah. John, can you talk about like when your testosterone went down to 19 and you were starting carnivore, at what point did you realize, like, from feelings, not from a test, but that like carnivore is improving something because I'm not feeling whatever feelings you were feeling before?
Yeah, well, a year ago, I couldn't do a push-up. I couldn't get my body off the floor. And after, I'd say about a month of carnivore, it was in that January to early February time period where I just wondered what it would be like. And I got down on the floor and did 10 push-ups real fast. Like I was in high school and I realized, holy crap, this, and now I'm up to 20, so I'm getting stronger. And that it was within weeks of starting carnivore that I got down on the floor and did push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups now. So that was one of the first things that I noticed. I'd
Right.
say maybe 2 months into it, I you don't notice that your joints don't hurt until it's been a few days and you go, I haven't noticed my joints in a while. And that's kind of how it happened. It was like, I don't remember when they stopped hurting, but it's been a while.
Was there a point where you started to feel like, oh, my emotions are getting much better now, going from having such low testosterone?
I can't tell you how many times Kristen said, I'm so glad you're back to normal. I'm so glad you're back to normal. I heard that so many times in the last few months. Yeah, I felt it. She felt it. I stopped crying at, anything and everything that, didn't matter. The hot flashes have taken a while to completely subside. At this point, I might have one at night that's not strong enough to wake me up anymore, that kind of thing. So I'm really looking forward to getting some better and better sleep. I'm not completely sleeping through the night, but I don't want to change anything. I'm gonna keep eating meat and getting better and better.
the
Wow.
sleep's the worst for me. I can't sleep through the night unless I take melatonin or something because I can't sleep through the night. And I'm hoping that my sleep gets better as well.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
part of me for 2 years, waking up at 3 in the morning, from the hormone treatment. I just never slept. So it will wake her up. So we're both needing to reestablish sleep.
Yeah.
Right. Um, and Kristen, have you noticed any changes in as far as things like joint pain or any improvements in areas like that?
I have. I've noticed that. I used to, ache all the time, but I feel like with my weight loss though, my body kind of aches a little bit from that, but as far as anything else, I feel a lot better and I'm glad I'm doing it because my digestion's better, but I know I can keep getting better and that's what I want. I want to keep getting better and stronger, um but yeah, but the cold that I've had's kind of helped, put a damper on that, but I know when I get better, I always feel like I didn't feel like exercising before, but when I started eating carnivore, I wanted to get up and exercise. I wanted to ride the bike. I wanted to do my leg and butt machine. I wanted to walk around the neighborhood and stuff like that. And I want to get back to that because it gave me energy.
And that makes sense. Like if your hormones suddenly got more imbalance
Mm-hmm.
from doing carnivore, that would make sense that you probably got more energy and more desire to do things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what if you were recommending this to a friend, what is the one thing that each of you would say, this is the thing you need to think about to help you stick to carnivore?
Well, I'd say it for my nieces because they have stomach issues too. And a lot of my friends, I said, if you have any digestive issues, do carnivore. It will help you. I've never known what it felt like to be normal, not having stomach problems or pain or anything like that. Doing carnivore, I feel different. It's so weird not to have issues, my digestive. And that's what I'd tell them, just to do carnivore, cut out all the bad, and your digestive system will be better. Even try for 30 days. That's why I tell my nieces, try for 30 days. If you aren't happy with it, then go back to eating what you're doing what you're doing. But I won't go back.
And I kind of felt like it's easier than keto. And so I would advise friends who thought that they tried the keto diet and it was too hard, too restrictive, that they always had cravings, that just trust that you're not going to have the cravings, and look forward to that freedom of knowing what it feels to be satiated, and knowing that you can eat until you feel that. It's a kind of a nice feeling, whereas when you were counting carbs, you knew that you had to stop at some point. So it's very freeing. We love going to the grocery store now too, so that's kind of a fun thing that we don't go into the middle of the store at all. We just go to the meat aisle and to
The dairy aisle.
dairy. Yeah, so it's changed how much time it takes us to get things ready. It simplifies life. It's just way easier than keto. We're not always looking for recipes. That's the other thing I see, that in the keto world, everybody's looking for some fake this or fake that. They want to simulate some type of food that you really lose the craving for it anyway. If you're in ketosis, you don't really have a craving for cake, so you don't need a cake that doesn't kick you out of ketosis. It's just kind of odd.
Yeah.
So you mentioned a word there a few times that people, when you're talking about carnivore, often bring up, and that's it's too restrictive.
Yeah.
But for people who have been on carnivore for 6 months, a year, it doesn't feel restrictive. What is it like for someone who's watching who hasn't tried carnivore? What is it that changes that makes you feel like this is not restrictive?
Well, I guess before carnivore, your mind could imagine lots of different ways to put food in your body, lots of different foods. You would just let your mind wander. You'd see things, you'd see bananas. That looks good. Yeah, I know how that tastes. And you start to remind yourself of it. Once you go into carnivore, you I think as you become adapted to the fat, your tastes start to change, and the things that you would imagine now become meat and eggs and cheese. And if you think about food, it's more along the lines of that, if you do. But we really don't think about food. We try to plan what we're going to do about food. So it's great to know that McDonald's has 100% patties, even if it's got 1,000 head of cattle in each patty. At least it's cooked in its own tallow. So in a pinch, we can get fed if we're out on the road.
Yeah. And I've tried to help my friends have diabetes too, and they won't. They just won't. They make up excuse. Well, I'm on this medicine, I'm afraid it's not going to help and stuff like that. And I was like, if you just do carnivore, you'll cure your type 2 diabetes. But you try, and it just, sometimes it's all you can do.
We don't want to push, but we feel sad when the clear answer is in their food. The food is the medicine, and they've been brainwashed to think otherwise. Everybody has. Her family, my family. Mine's sick of me telling them carnivore's going to solve this, is going to solve that.
And they flat out tell us we're not going to give up bread, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So we knew it was time to stop talking about it, because we're going to keep doing what we do, and I guess they can keep doing what they're doing. But it just breaks my heart that they're not trying to even give it a chance,
Yeah, especially when we see their health going down and our health getting better. We just feel like everybody should enjoy healthy life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it because of him.
Yeah. I think the best thing you can do is of course, you might talk about it occasionally when people ask questions or whatever. I think the best thing to do is just lead by example, because for most people, I think that get to carnivore, they're usually at the point where they're at the end of their rope. They've tried everything. They've tried the medications. They've tried the low calorie. They've tried the this. They've tried the that. You know, and maybe they've been on keto and had problems with sticking to it, or all the measuring that needs to be done or whatever. And they finally go, well, this is the last thing I've got. I'm going to give this a try. And then they start seeing improvements, and they also see that people have just been leading by example, and there's no one that seems to be sick on carnivore. So I'll give it a try. It's worth trying.
Right.
Hmm.
So have you kept a database of all of your guests, and do you have any kind of records of all the health effects and benefits you've been hearing about?
um To a degree, if handwritten notes are a database, then to a degree. But basically, it does seem that there is kind of some very, very similar things that improve for everyone. I mean, joint pain goes away, skin problems go away, all that kind of thing. But one of the most interesting things, and I'd love to ask you both about this. One of the most interesting things that seems to happen for people is their oral health improves. And I was just talking to a bioengineering professor from Stanford the other day, and she was talking about how there is a link between oral health and dementia.
Wow.
And so the fact that carnivore seems to improve oral health, gets rid of halitosis, gets rid of gum problems, gets rid of those bleeding gums or sensitivity, all those kind of things. Seems that maybe carnivore could be if you want to call it, a prophylactic against dementia. But regarding oral health, have either of you seen improvements that way?
Well, I have. I was on a periodontal maintenance plan for basically every 6 months. I was getting a cleaning, and then I went in a couple of years ago, and the tech measured some of the pockets and didn't like some of the readings, and so she put me on the quarterly plan, and I started carnivore. Went back about six. I think it's been about. I'd only done it for a couple of months before that visit, and they said that my gums were already that they were improving, and they didn't know why or how, but that my gums were improving and keep doing what I'm doing. So I said, I'm eating meat. And they said that goes against everything we've ever been taught. We've taught to eat a balanced diet and not eat vegetables, but if you're eating meat, keep eating meat. So the dentist, I haven't gone back for the next 6 month checkup after that yet, but I anticipate even more improvement.
Yeah, I had a dentist appointment. They didn't really say anything about mine, but they just told me I grind my teeth too much, so I have to wear a mouthpiece at night. But I haven't had any bleeding or anything like that, and it's it's been good. So I'm hoping I've had a good check, but they haven't really said anything about my teeth being better or anything like that. I'll have to wait till in October and see what they say then. But
And they put that little needle in and measure everything.
yeah,
all the pockets.
yeah. So I'm hoping it's good. It's good. My teeth feel good, but we'll see.
Yeah.
And nice. Yeah, the first thing I noticed with mine was when my wife stopped recoiling when I spoke to her, because the bad breath had just disappeared. It was like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I feel normal again, I don't have to cover my mouth when I talk.
That's what
So
I want.
yeah. So John and Kristen, if people want to reach out to you, do you have any way of them getting in contact?
Well, I do have that YouTube channel, Energy Risk Engineering Lessons, that I put up a video about once a month on something to do with energy risk engineering, and they can reach out through that channel, Energy Risk Engineering Lessons at YouTube.
And I just have an email address. I don't have a YouTube channel, but they can reach out to me there. Because I'd love to talk to people about it, other women or, men on carnivore to help me with my weight, but I'd love to talk to somebody.
Sure. So I'll link to both of those below. John and Kristen, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Dave.
Dave.